I'm back. Let's go. Welcome to Last Chance Q with myself, Coach JB and Sean Salisbury.
We will not talk over the amateur or under the expert.
It's not only the X's and O's, but it's about the Jimmys and Joes.
And it's not just quarterback. We got all the positions, teaching, coaching, laughing, and joking.
We're using football terminology so we can get through this faster than we don't want to use these long terms, Coach. We got quick verbiage to get to the point. Last Chance Q with the great legendary Sean Salisbury. What up, what up, what up? We're in the building. Ooh, is that my echo or you? Sean, what up?
What's happening, man?
Jeff, what up? Good morning. Sunday. Happy Sunday fun day.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing today, guys?
Awesome.
Got my new navy blue bucket hat in the mail. Sean, you don't know about this, bitch.
Yeah, well, you know what? Apparently mine and Jeff's got lost in the mail, but that's cool. That's all right. You ain't got this one either.
Hey,
either. Do you?
Hey, I'm going to narrate
this
this
hat?
thing. No, I don't have that hat. Is that Miller Lite? Is that Bud Light?
To me, it looks like it says MAGA on it, okay? Jeff, you'll love this one. You having trouble seeing it, Jeffy? There you go.
I
How
did
about
not,
that
yeah.
one, Jeff? Is that for you?
By the way, speaking of that, guess who is in my town today?
AB.
Donald Trump.
DT's in the house? Nice.
Yeah, and
Nice.
last night they were already lining up for him outside of that place.
JB, you know what it's like. They line up for you when you make an appearance, dog. I mean,
yeah.
you're the closest thing to Trump we got, brother. What do you got?
Mostly all bitches. Hey, good to see you guys, man. It's Sunday. I'm about to head. Sean King's here at the house with me, so he wanted Jeff to know that he's like on a heater. He's still asleep, by the way, but I told him, get your ass up and walk in here and give us some heaters. Jeff and I fuck with him all the time. He's on a little roll, though, on college. He's rolling right now. He won his picks yesterday here at the house, and he actually almost won poker, but he lost.
Awesome.
But anyway, good times. He's chilling. We're about to go to the boat, Sean, after this, you know.
Yeah, your Sundays, man. I tell you what, I'd sure love to be out there on the boat. Well, I'm just one of these mere minions, though. You know what?
Thanks for coming out, though.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the invite.
I invite you and Jeff, you know, you guys just shit on me. It's all right. We'll get there one day. We'll get you guys out
Jeff,
of
did you get an invite yet?
I have gotten an invite.
Yeah, but it's the invite like this. It's Sunday morning, and you're in Philly, and I'm in Texas, and he's like, "Hey, you guys coming today?" And he considers that as invite, right?
Yeah, he'll hit me up the day before and be like, "Yeah, it'd be nice to have you out here tomorrow." It's like, yeah, I live in Pennsylvania, but you know.
But hey, appreciate the invite, though. Thanks for thinking of us.
Hey, Jeff, real quick, and Sean, you're the one to ask the most of right before we start. This show is brought to you by BetUS. Head on over there. Follow Jeff Nadu as well as his college basketball picks will start as well over at BetUS. This show is brought to you by BetUS. Use the promo code CoachJB and get you 150% bonus.
And Jeff, with that real quick, Jeff, I think I keeping tally over, you know, like what seasons, NFL, college football, just personally where I've had my best money making over the last decade, it's college basketball for me. It's my favorite sport.
Yeah, it's the best.
I do. I'm a big Monday and from the time it starts, I'm a huge college basketball. JB, are you? I know, Jeff, I know you are. Obviously,
I love it. Yeah, there's nothing better.
I probably put more money in college basketball than anything I do when it comes to betting sports.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you guys. I just don't do it no more. The pussification of college sports has just rubbed me the wrong way. But we're gonna dive into that this year and hopefully win some money. Head on over there. We'll put up the logo here in a second. Sean, right out the gate, real quick, before we dive into this slate, there's a game on already. New England started out 7-0, took the lead, and then Jacksonville has basically mud stomped them since. It's 25-10, I believe, in the middle of the third quarter over in England. Another one of these early games. I can't stand this shit, but it is what it is. New England's not a very good football team because Jacksonville's not, and Jacksonville looks like the fucking Super Bowl champs versus them right now. That's how bad this team is. I hear all these comments at how bad Belichick left them. It's amazing, and I'm just like, You really think Belichick's New England Patriots would be this bad this year?
If I put Belichick with the Cowboys right now, would they be looking at? I mean, would they be better?
It blows my mind, man.
Yeah, but that's the way people are. And
hey, but before we dive into this game,
take all those championships and let it, realize that people go through down times. Okay, he kept you there for 25 years. So
before we dive into that game, though, and get going, I got to ask you, man. You're a legend. You're an alum. What is going on with Lincoln Riley and USC? Is he on? I mean, listen, I hate to say the chopping block and hot seat and all that shit, but when you make that much money at a place like that, you essentially are when you take the job, right?
Yeah, and I hate it too because I know you've had a chance to talk to him. I love Lincoln Riley. I do. He's always been good to me, and when you talk to him, but this is not personal, and I shouldn't even have to preface that. Lincoln Riley's one hell of an offensive coach. The problem is something's missing. It's been a while now at SC. And I spent some time with the great Bruce Matthews. We had lunch last week, and I talked to a lot of former players. And I'm sure the buzz in Los Angeles is the national buzz. Is that they don't play enough physical defense, and we don't know how to close out games. That's been obvious this year. We do not know how to finish in games that are close. We just don't. See, the parts are really good. The sum is not very good. And in college, look what happened to Texas and Georgia. Texas has been the number one team in the country different times this year. We know they got it all. They got bullied yesterday. Georgia, there's the difference in physicality, and it was different physicality. Georgia looked like the Georgia we're used to seeing. They bullied the Longhorns all from through and through, other than a small stint in the third quarter, right? So my Trojans, until they play defense, I'm telling you, to a man, every Trojan you talk to, defensively, and we're not physical enough. While it looks pretty, the finesse, I'm just telling you what former players in USC alum, they still haven't caught up to the spread stuff, right? When I say that, I'm not saying their IQ's not there, but they're living in history where they want to line up in the eye and run Marcus Allen downhill with a lead fullback kicking out on the strong safety or the Sam linebacker, and then running play action and throwing it 24 times a game. Now you say, Sean, we haven't been doing that since, well, damn, you and Rodney Pete were there, right? But they still hold on to that because that's where we knew we were physical. When we Heisman Trophy quarterbacks and spread it all around and Matt Lyon with all that tool, and they were still a finesse. That was it. But SC was physical then. They had first round picks up front, and their linebacking core was Cushing and Matthews and Malaluga. So there was a physicality with incredible perimeter players like you'd seen at Alabama or Georgia now. So it's the physicality that's driving people crazy. Losing games is one thing. It's the way they're losing them. You're losing them by being pushed around, not by somebody. I can handle a guy that comes in and out finesses you one game like Leach would have done once in a while, right? You see that, or Oregon does. What you can't handle is every single week taking body blows because that steals your soul. And so
Sean, they're like fucking Purdue right now.
It is. That's my point.
They are going into the Big 20.
Right.
You go to this conference and everybody thought they were going to be like a powerhouse, Ohio State, Michigan right away. And they're Purdue in essence. Let me ask you something.
I just hate the lack of physicality. So do I think the whispers are going to start? I absolutely do. And I hate it because we know we can score points.
But here's something that we're not also addressing. At what point is this team going to get some stops defensively? Because it is year after year. It doesn't matter where the guy is. He can't get stops. And look, guys, the writing is on the wall. And as a gambler, we have to stop betting into these teams going east to west and west to east. They're just not winning. They're not covering. I think on the season, out of like 12 or 13 games, the team traveling is only covered, I think, twice. It is a very tough thing to do.
But see, we think these kids are
college,
NFL guys. We think these kids are professionals. They're not. This is the professional
especially in
travel.
college, too. They're not leaving like where you get 3 days beforehand. You're leaving the morning before the game, flying in, and then getting there that evening, dinner time, staying awake and playing, and getting on a plane right away and flying back. It's really a 24-hour thing. And Jeff, along with it, that's what I'm talking about, the physicality of we get pushed around on defense. Now, listen, I wonder, and you guys tell me if you think, I believe that teams that practice finesse play finesse. JB, you've coached it. I have too. I know when you're practicing against what we do offense and what college football does offensively, I almost get the feeling like there's this feeling of comfort. The teams you're playing against, and I know we said, well, everybody's spread, but when you run into a team that's physical in the Big Ten, which they live there, right? That's even the Minnesotas of the world are trying to add physicality, even though they don't get to recruit the same people you do. But the inability to close out, not being able to close out late games tells me you're getting beat down physically at the end of games because they're in it and all of a sudden they give up, 3rd and 9, boom, 4th and 14, give up a first down. It's just that the run game on offense and the physicality in their front seven on defense has been missing. And they don't get enough stops, Jeff. You're exactly right. And that's what drives old school players. And not that they want to live in the past and can't throw it 40 times, but the old school player says, we got beat in our careers, but one thing we didn't get to do when we were at SC is you didn't get bullied very often. Rarely.
I'm gonna give you guys some coaching stuff real quick because I don't think anybody else you won't hear it on mainstream media. I'm gonna break it down on my show tomorrow. Sean, you probably discuss it on yours, but here's why the Lincoln Riley led teams never are good on defense. He's an offensive guy. Okay, I've been an offensive coordinator and head coach. Here's what people don't understand, and Sark's learning it. I think Lane Kiffin's learning it, and I mean by the OC and the head coach. One thing these guys don't know when you take over these jobs, and they don't grasp the fact that as the play caller on offense and the head coach, your defense will never be good when you score in 6 plays on a average on offense. That's how good Lincoln Riley and their offense is on a norm. They score 6 points. They'll score on 6, 7, 8 play drives. Just listen to what I'm telling you. The defense then is what? Out there for 13 plays. And then their offense takes over again, scores in 6. Guess what the defense is back out there doing? Back on defense again for 20 plays. Then the offense scores in 6 plays. And then guess what? The defense is out there for another 15 plays. No one's talked about that. That is why Lincoln Riley's teams struggle. He doesn't know how to manage the clock as a play caller and head coach to help his defense.
Thinking about on the defensive side what his team needs for a little bit of rest and relaxation. Think about this.
Hey, Sean, before you say that, Nick Saban told Sark exactly what we're talking about. He said, hey, listen, you're scoring in 7 fucking snaps. I'm going to be out here.
Defense can't sustain that.
I'm going to be out here for 15. So hold the fuck on and let's run the football, or let's do something and run this clock down to 3 before we snap it every time.
Yeah, where you don't have to run tempo all the time, right? All the time. Real quick with that, JB, and I'm a big believer. Go back to when SC played Michigan. As we look ahead, I can't remember the last time I saw a national champion, and I know McCarthy's not there. This is the worst Division I power team throwing I've seen in a long time. Dude, they can't throw up. They are bad.
I know.
That's no disrespect to Michigan. I'm sure Michigan fans feel the same way about their team. It's hard to watch, and I think they threw for 35 yards against us, and they ran for 8 million. Penn State wore us out with a tight end in that short passing game, and he'd make runs. The bottom line is they understand how to approach USC's defense.
One of
it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was just going to add to what he just said. One of my premium plays yesterday was the Illinois Illini. I didn't understand that number.
I had them all day, every day. That was I bet them yesterday too, Jeff, and it was an easy one for me, I thought.
I heard, Michigan's awful bye. I want to just make this clear to you folks. Going into yesterday, Michigan had been to into the red zone 11 times on the season. Not in like 3 games, on the season. They are horrific, and Jack Tuttle is somehow worse than the other individuals they had at quarterback. I just can't understand how you are that poor at scouting. And Coach, you did it. I mean, they are horrific quarterbacks. They can't do anything.
This is what happens, though, and Sean will tell you, when you're a quarterback guy as the head coach and OC, as Jim Harbaugh was, guess what? When you go, it goes. When I left Indy, they didn't replace me or the quarterback spot. They struggle to find that guy, especially when you're the guy getting the guy. And Harbaugh was that guy that got the guy, and it's really
see the drop off.
It's nothing less. There's really no scientific point to it, John. It's really that's just what it is. That's what it is. You saw what Kaepernick did under Harbaugh. You saw what Kaepernick didn't do under Harbaugh, or when he wasn't with Harbaugh.
J.J. McCarthy became a first-round pick, and going in, he was we thought runner first, and became an accurate passer who's waiting on his opportunity.
Here's the thing, Sean. That game you're talking about, referring to Michigan SC game. If you watch that game, when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, SC, okay, you're going to beat Michigan. They go down and throw 2 shovel passes and a throw with 1:50 left. They didn't run the ball one time. They thought the 2 shovel passes were going to be completed and run the clock as a run. It makes 0 sense to me. It just hand the fucking football off. Because what happened is
people get way too cute these days, brother. They just
Sean, but it would have been 50 more seconds. And guess what Michigan did? Michigan ran the football where they would have had to throw it with 35, 40 seconds left to beat SC. They ran the ball because they had 130 instead of 45 seconds.
Throwing it. Michigan ain't beating Michigan Prep on a Friday night right now.
Can I just have 30 seconds to address all you motherfuckers in the media? Suck my dick. Look at Indiana. Oh, they haven't played anybody. We're all going to take Nebraska. How the fuck did that work out for you? Curtis Rourke. I'm going to say his name because yesterday, 60-1 to win the Heisman. He's now 30-1 to win the Heisman. They are undefeated. They will have Ohio State in a couple of weeks. Could they find their way into the playoff and Curtis Rourke be a Heisman Trophy candidate? He is that good. They completely desecrated Nebraska. Desecrated them.
I'm telling you right now that their coach,
Smitty, man.
I am telling you. I've loved him for a long time at different programs. And then you say, okay, what's he going to do here? This is not by chance. There's a cultural change that he's got them believing that they're this good.
Yeah.
And I just –
Hey,
when's the last time I sat down and watched that whole Indiana game, with the 4 TV, we all got all these TVs, and I was focused on that game on those early games because I wanted to see with my own eyes that I'm seeing the right thing. And I'm telling you now, there's nothing fake about that team. They're going to get beat at some point this year, but that team that beats them is going to have their hands full. You ain't going to play Indiana on a bye week anymore. They'll whoop your ass. And Nebraska, tough, and Matt Rule's got them going, and Raiola, they beat them like a friggin' drum yesterday.
Keep in mind too, at JMU in Indiana, Smitty is 66-9.
Yes, guy's good wherever he goes. It doesn't matter where he's been.
Yeah.
That's a football.
I'm afraid that the politics will keep him out of going. I can see one school he takes over next
Why go
year.
Anywhere? Why not just stay where he is? Why not make that into the power in the Big Ten? Because he can. Michigan is down and out a little bit after last year. They won finally. They can be that Penn State team.
Here's why. Here's why you don't do it. Because you see what happens is unfortunately when they fire Coach Moore at Michigan, they go get a guy like, let's just say a name, Urban Meyer. That's why. Because Indiana cannot keep up resourceful-wise.
But Kirk Cignetti's 63 years old. He's not a young guy anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's in the prime of his coaching career.
Who's going to hire? Like Florida should hire him.
I was going to say Florida State. If Florida State keeps struggling,
they won't. He's too old. He's too old, guys. He's way too old.
But I feel like. But see, I don't see you say that, but that's not how you feel, JB. You're talking about the perception that his age.
Because they're going to say,
his age is a problem.
Okay,
we want Lane Kiffin in Florida. We need Lane Kiffin.
I don't know the answer to this because I haven't given a lot of thought. When's the last time a 30-something won a national title?
No, but Sean, you're right. He should be the coach, 100%. But they won't bring him in because these young kids can't relate to him. And
but maybe they can relate. Hell, I relate to young kids. I train them every day, and I could speak their lingo, and I still got some old school feel. But it's the perception that he's 6. Fuck, good coaches don't really beat people around this time. They finally.
JB's right. JB's right. They want the Lane Kiffins. They want the Josh Heupels. They want the guys like that.
The crazy part is, guys, that they hire these fucking search firms outside of the university, not even in the city, not even in the fucking town of the school. They don't know shit about these kids. They never recruited them, and they hire these fucking search firms. And what it does is this: they'll go hire a guy like this in a small rural town, Bloomington, Indiana, but they will never hire him in Gainesville, L.A.
Because it's not sexy, which
not
is
sexy, man.
It's
bullshit.
Think about this. You think about over the last. I mean, there may be some. I think Dan Lanning's a great coach. I think Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach. But I want you to the names that pop up over national title winners: Kirby Smart, Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, Nick Saban. I mean, we can go on. How many of those guys were in their 40s when they won the title? I mean, they may have won one when they were in their 40s. But right now, I mean, Urban Meyer. I'm just thinking about. I mean, good gracious, it's you can still relate to young players. And I'm not saying the young 35 and 40-year-olds can't coach because I know they can. But when you really look at what it takes to get to another level, aren't most of our coaches 50 plus, 60 plus that are winning these things? When it comes down to it and still relating to 25-year-olds and understanding name, image, and likeness in the collective, that's the problem. They think the older guy doesn't understand how to get into the collective and because they're so used to doing it the old school way But if you buy in like Kirby Smart, Dabo's trying to buy in, you start to think about the guys that are the highest paid coaches. Well, how many national championships? Kirby and Dabo. Not
Dabo, that's it.
Not
That's
Ryan,
it.
not Norvell, not King. Okay, so you're going through them all.
That's it. Two guys, top two guys. That's it.
So, and neither one of them are in their 40s.
No.
Okay, not to say young coaches that see when people hear, well, you don't think, yes, I do think they can coach. What I'm saying is that it's not only young coaches that belong at Florida or Florida State or Southern Cal, guys that are in that range because they can relate. It appears to me, hell, you would have to relate really big at Indiana because you know what? They're not used to winning. So it tells me that Cignetti is actually relating. Age has zero to do with relation. It's all about your DNA.
I agree with you. I just don't think. I think JB's 100% right.
To hire him. You're exactly right.
One other thing on college, and then we'll get to the games. And look, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to shout out Colorado. Another very good win yesterday. Very dominating win. Now, I will say Arizona, very topsy-turvy, been more turvy than anything.
Well, they lost their whole coaching staff to Washington, and that's affected them a little bit.
But I'll say this, and just to show Colorado some love, I mean, they did it. Travis Hunter did nothing, at least on offense. Jimmy Horn wasn't a factor. They're starting to win with other people now, which is good. LeJonte Webster was huge. That's another dominating win. Good defensive performance. And Iowa State lost yesterday. They're the fraud they usually are. Colorado, all of a sudden, Utah's a mess. Colorado, all of a sudden, is a very
Iowa State won, didn't they?
They did. They won late. Okay. My apologies.
They won like 39-36 or 39.
I thought they lost. My apologies. I read that wrong. They were down big, though, in that game. I could have sworn.
Texas Tech got blown out, which was a shocker to me by Baylor.
To me, though, they are still a fraudulent type of group, Iowa State. I think they're very beatable at this point. Colorado, very possible, could get to the Big 12 title game and win that.
Here's my take. I think Colorado's shitty. I still think they are. They played a fucking nobody schedule. And you know what? You know what hurt them yesterday? Really bad? Nebraska getting fucking shellacked by Indiana.
Yeah,
because that team blew out Colorado, and Colorado's only real team to date on their schedule, they lost to K-State and got blown out by Nebraska. So I'm just telling you, their schedule is bottom 3 in the whole country, Jeff. They played an FCS. They played fucking Colorado State. They played nobody.
Yeah, but I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing that. Nobody's played anybody. The whole country sucks. Nobody's good. At the end of the day, though, BYU and Colorado right now are the two best teams in that conference outside of Iowa State. That's just the truth.
Yeah, BYU and that's how bad that conference is.
Ass off, and you know what? When I look at the quarterbacks after I've looked around and try to study, and I'll study them deeper as you will, JB, once the season's over before the draft. I don't see anybody play. I mean, Cam Ward's playing really good, but when you talk about NFL. Can I actually put Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers ahead of Shedeur Sanders right now? I can't. I can't. If you're drafting the first quarterback in this draft tomorrow, it's got to be Sanders. It has to be. It has to be.
I cannot believe I was
Quinn Ewers, but Carson Beck. But they're doing some things in games that make me wonder what I mean. They got great ability, but there's still a lot of work. They get a little loose in mechanics and stuff. They got stuff, and I love them to death. But right now, game in and game out, with the offensive line and the hit and the hits he takes,
I'll tell you though, Shedeur Sanders had some bad throws late night. I mean,
but he's also Jeff. He gets hit in the mouth. I'm not pining for him. I'm sitting here trying to go. We don't have the clear-cut number 1 pick in this draft at the quarterback.
This is the worst quarterback draft I've seen.
It's like, man, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, am I going to turn my franchise over to Carson Beck right now? I think he's a good player. But I can't have a lot of ifs by the name of a guy who's going to be the first, second, or third pick of the draft. If there's an if, that's fine. I can't have 5 of them. And now I'm going through this saying, are you betting your franchise right now on guys right now? I mean, there's still time to go in an off season that they'll be drafted in the first round. I'm talking about, are you turning your franchise over to him right now?
Can we knock out the fucking Travis Hunter Heisman shit? He's done. He's over.
He's out now. Yeah, he's done now.
Stop. I'm tired of
hearing I'll tell you another thing. Next
he's not good enough. He don't play either side of the ball.
Carson Beck is done with it. Carson Beck's not winning the Heisman. Quinn Ewers isn't winning the Heisman.
Fuck, man. Travis Hunter has not one Heisman moment all year. He doesn't have one Heisman moment you can show me besides him doing his own fucking pose. What is this Heisman moment?
Cam Ward at Miami.
He don't look great. I'll tell you right now. He misses a lot of layups, Sean.
Who, Cam Ward? Oh, I'm not talking about NFL. I'm talking about Heisman. You know, guys that are voting for it a lot of time don't understand what.
Let's just be honest. As the weeks continue to go, fucking give this Genty kid the Heisman, as we talked about 5 weeks ago. This guy is clear cut.
No, you talked about that. We didn't. You talked
clear cut the fucking Heisman trophy.
Yeah, but after next week when he plays a real team, then
Jeff, he ran for 200 yards on Oregon. Give me one person that's done that, homie.
Maybe it's time to find the defensive player.
But when he plays a real
he had
team,
3 touchdowns and 200 yards on Oregon. Show me another Heisman candidate. Show me another Heisman candidate that's played Oregon or a caliber of team like Oregon and gave those numbers to him. Show me.
Yeah,
and
listen,
the cat continues to put up godly numbers every week, homie.
Okay, I don't want to get into this discussion again. I'm just going to say this. But this just doesn't work. Like, we don't give this award to this kind of player from this kind of team. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. And it's only week 8. We've got Cameron Ward's the favorite, by the way.
But listen, Jeff, you just said it yourself out of one side of your mouth, and on the other side says he can't get it. Well, who gets it? This is the worst fucking Heisman Trophy run in America's history. Yep. Tell me right now, Cam Ward, if he fucking loses one game, he's out. Milroe's out now all the way. Dylan Gabriel's the guy now, as you stated, has gone up the poll because Oregon beat Ohio State, and now they're basically number 1 team in the country. Texas just lost. They don't have a quarterback in the race. So who's really the Heisman? Who's really the guy?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm looking at Dylan Gabriel. I'm looking at Klubnik 20-1. I'm looking at Rourke 35-1. Cameron Ward. They're
not going to jump Genty though.
All right. Well, we'll see.
There's a part of me that wants to get going futures bet on Klubnik, because if he goes on run, Genty loses a game or two, and Cam Ward loses a game.
That's what it's going to be.
Klubnik on Clemson at 20-1. Throw about 500 on it. Might be worth the bet, JB.
Yeah, I know. Hey, let's dive into a good convo to start with college football. We had to get that take out the way. A lot of college going on as it gets down to the nitty gritty, as Jeff will be killing it once this gets closer to playoff time. I'm curious to see who makes this 12 team and then how many kids.
The NFL, the greed with this league is out of control. I mean, what do we have? 3 games at 4:00 today because we need 2 Monday night games. We need yet another fucking England game. When is this over? When is the England?
I don't know. I'm tired.
It just means for me to go play golf this afternoon instead of watch 3 games. You can take.
Yeah.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. Messy. Let's dive into it. The 10 o'clock games. Let's start right out the gate. I'll give you the line. I'll give you the over-under. Sean and Jeff, you guys pick them, break them down. The Seahawks, Falcons. This is my lock pick of the week, by the way. I'm just giving it to you right out the gate. I'm taking the Falcons -3.5. The over is 48, I believe. I'm taking 3.5. The Falcons. The Seahawks cannot stop a nosebleed. You guys give me your take, but that's my lock pick of the week. Falcons -3.5.
Jeff, you go ahead, man. Take as much as you need, and I'll
Yeah. So this game is fascinating because when you look at Geno Smith, right, in dome games in his career, he has been dominant. Like, he is really, really good. Falcons are 31st in the NFL in pressure rate on defense. They're going to give Geno a bunch of time to throw the football to a bevy of options. They've had a tough schedule. As JB alluded to, they are also complete dumpster fire on defense. Tariq Woolen's been out. Artie Burns has been out. They got a couple of guys that have been out. It's not going to get any easier this week either with Kirk Cousins, who's been able to kind of attack. I think this is our typical shootout in a dome stadium. I think this one's back and forth. Total in this game is a little higher than JB indicated. It's 51. That said, we don't see a lot of overs anymore, but I think both these quarterbacks operate with clean pockets. I think we see a bunch of offense in this game. Secondary is a little weak. I like the over 51.
When I woke up and saw I've been looking at when I woke up and saw it, I feel the same way, not quite as blatant, but I feel the same way about my lock of the week last week was Detroit and Dallas in the over. Even though Detroit got most of the over, I was locked into that game. I think this is the over as well. I think this is in the mid to upper 50s. I don't think the defense, you get 2 or 3 stops in a row and you'll be like doing somersaults on the sideline. Give me the over in this game. It's not my lock of the week just yet. I do reserve the right to decide at the end, but I had over on this, although I wouldn't touch the points, but I'm all on it on the
Here's why this is why I'm picking my lock pick. Take a look at this fucking guy.
Is it 3.5, Jeff?
Look at this fucking guy, how he showed up to fucking work today. That's why I'm taking Atlanta Falcons. I'm so tired of these fucking weirdos. This is why right here. And by the way, this is the guy that's known for hawking down a guy and chasing him down. Nothing else. He's never made a big fucking catch. This guy right here is a fucking joke.
I gotta give me a pair of those. So, JB, you're making your pick based on his weak ass pregame attire.
I'm just going to also point out. I mean, I don't
love you, JB. I
don't care what they wear, but Geno Smith is just incredible in domes. 75% completion. I think he's got 18 touchdowns in his career. Just really good.
I also think, Jeff, isn't he leading the league at about 297 a game or 287 a game? I think.
Yeah.
So
they'll have a good game and they'll have a fucking shitty game. That's the difference. He's like
this has 30. This has 27, 20. I mean, this has like 28, 24 written all over it to me. Give me the over.
Yep.
You're taking over, Jeff. I'm just taking the -3.5. I'm taking the Falcons to win by 4. It's basically what
I was going to say. That hook concerns me because this feels like one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, I bet US currently has it at 3, so we'll give JB 3. I would agree. You want to get off that hook. That's a concern there. It could be, 30-27. So, yeah, I think 3 is the best place you're going to find.
The next one, 10 o'clock. We got a lot to get through in the morning here. The Titans-Bills. Now, this is a game I'm taking the Titans on to cover. I'm just telling you right now because last I checked, it's even came down, Jeff. The last I checked, it was 9.5. It still is. So it's still 9.5. I'm taking the Titans to cover 9.5. The Bills just got Amari Cooper. I don't believe that'll just be plug and play. They're going to be on the same page right out the gate. The Bills are still struggling after the Jets win to find offense. I still think they struggle on offense. They got to get Amari Cooper plugged in there. So I know I'm just telling you right now, the Titans -9.5 plus 9.5 is a good bet in my opinion, Jeff. I just want to get your take on it. I don't think the Bills can beat the Titans by 10 points as they try to get Amari Cooper involved in a new offense.
And Mason Rudolph getting a start, I believe.
That's correct. And listen, I think that's probably the better option at this point. Here's the concern for the Titans, okay? Since the start of the 2023 season, the Buffalo Bills have forced 40 turnovers. 40. That is a lot of turnovers. And this Titan group is just giving it away at a high level. That said, Tennessee's been very good defensively. Number 1 in the NFL in total defense. I think the goal is run the football, easy throws, get the ball to Calvin Ridley, get the ball to Tony Pollard. I do like that defense for Tennessee. And I think a lot of the betting public's going to come in and say, oh, they just got, Amari Cooper, everything's great. I think that will be a good situation down the, long term, but only one football. I agree. I'd like 10.5 here. I didn't ultimately bet this game. I want 10.5. I'm gonna bet Tennessee. I think the under has some legs too. Tennessee, Sean, good defensive team.
Yeah, and that's why I think that the under is intriguing. But I also, JB, I'm with you on this, and we've talked about it every week, that double-digit spreads are hard to come by.
Yeah.
If it was 10.5, then it's different. But I actually think this has backdoor cover, late touchdown. You win by 6 if you're Buffalo. Give me Tennessee with the points at 9.5. I like them. And you know what? While Mason Rudolph's not spectacular, at least he's veteran enough to go into a building, at least handle some pressure. They are in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, are they not?
Yes.
Yes, there they. So I'll take. Give me. I probably won't bet the game because of the number, but I'm going to say Tennessee gets in.
It's all going to come down to turnovers. Again, Buffalo very good at forcing them. If Mason Rudolph can just protect the football, again, not make dumb mistakes, lean on the run game and that defense, I think they can.
Great things he can. It's not making great plays. It's making sure you limit the stupid plays. If they do that, they'll hang around. This feels like. Doesn't this feel like 23-17 type game? 23-16. Under mixed in with Tennessee just kind of hanging around. Kind of an ugly game too, a little sluggish, I think. I'll take Tennessee. Buffalo's going to win, but Tennessee inside the number.
No doubt. Definitely, we're all on the same page on that one. Let's dive into this next one. Bengals-Browns. The Browns are just a shell of what they thought they would be with Deshaun Watson at QB. I have no idea, Sean, why they continue to play this kid. It comes down to brass tacks and the $250.
It gives you the best chance to win. Your offense is horse shit. That's all I'll say.
True statement right there. You can't really Jameis Winston, just the morale boost alone, in my opinion, would give the Browns an extra 13 points. That's just my opinion on knowing locker rooms. But they're not going to do it, and it's unfortunate. -1, Jeff, or to open this thing up. Sorry, -5.5. -5.5.
It is -5.5.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong thing. -5.5, Jeff. Bengals, obviously. I'm taking the Bengals all day in this one to cover that spread as well. Where you got that?
Yeah. So last week, people like me got their doors kicked in because the public cashed every bet. It seemed like I'm on the Browns here for a couple of reasons. And just hear me out. I know Deshaun Watson sucks. I got you. I think we could maybe see Jameis in this game. I think it could be one of those games where it's just not working in the first quarter. You throw him in there with Nick Chubb now back. I think they lean on the run a lot more today. And maybe we see Jameis. That said, this is more a play against Joe Burrow. And look, this Bengal defense stinks. We all know it. I'm not believing in the mirage we saw recently. Also, in this game, Joe Burrow has struggled over the last 4 games against Cleveland. He has just been a mess. He doesn't play well against the Browns historically. For whatever reason, Joe Burrow he's not good in the first couple of weeks of the season. It generally figures itself out. He's not good against the Browns, but that hasn't figured itself out. I like the Browns here. Say what we want about them. They do play hard. Even last week, they hung in that game. We're right there. I don't get why I'm seeing Jameis is inactive. Why? I don't get that.
Is it almost like you're trying to tell Deshaun, don't worry and don't look over your shoulder? Jameis isn't playing.
Yeah, I don't
unless he's hurt. I mean,
yeah,
I don't get inactive, not hurt. Yeah, me either. And Jeff, I with this guy, you said something that was one of your comments. You said, and I'm normally on your side on this. I don't, but it was going to be funny, but I got caught up in the Jameis Winston shit. The play hard. Those motherfuckers should play hard. That's why they get paid. That's one of my, and I love it. I know we all say it. I want them to play smarter, and I want the defense. Those fans in Cleveland deserve better. I think they're some of the best fans on the planet. I friggin' love them, and they have to go through this, wallow in this shit, and the defense is going to get to the point where say, offense, you're going to pull your weight a little bit. I can't consciously take Cleveland the way they've played offensively. And this is usually the time of year when Burrow's team goes on a roll, regardless of what we're saying about an offensive line or a defense. But you're right, defensively, and he hasn't solved Cleveland. He solves them today. It may be a field goal game, but I even on the road, give me a guy who's a better quarterback than the guy they got. Defense may keep him in it. I think Cleveland's lost whatever their identity, and when you're telling me he gives you the best chance to win, as much as Watson was good here in Houston, he has not been good there. But it's not just him. The offensive line can't block us three in a 3-man rush. They haven't been able to do much. And it just feels to me like they're reeling, looking for something. Give me the better quarterback.
But let me ask you, at what point do we just kind of say, look, we know what the Bengals are. They're not.
Cincinnati's not the same team this year. I've already said it, Jeff. Yes, I'm with you.
And that's my point. I mean, they did win clinically last week, but Giants outgained them in yardage.
Lesser of two evils. I think Watson plays skittish now. Give me Burrow. That's why. But I'm on
the other side. Give me the Browns.
Would you pick Cleveland if they were on the road, Jeff?
I'm not taking them ever.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that much to me. Cleveland, Cincinnati, it's same state. It doesn't really mean. I don't really care a lot about home games.
I got you. Okay, brother, I got you.
But I just think this should be 3. I don't see 5.5. So I'm on the other side here.
Yeah, I think that the reason is if you notice this Cleveland Browns line every week is because I think they realize what Deshaun Watson doesn't make up for. And I'm telling you, that's a
and you know what I was actually JB, I was actually picking on, you said -1 and it's +5.5. Yeah, I would.
That's the open. He's looking at the opening number. You want to look under the spread.
Yeah, because I don't have them in front of me. I just go by what you guys. I've looked at them, but I don't keep them. So I'm still going to just stick with my pick and say Cincinnati wins by a touchdown. But if I was picking this, even if they're on a neutral site, I would think it's going to be a close. It feels like a field goal game to me. 5.5, maybe too much. Cincinnati's going to win the game. I was betting. I was doing it by the 1, even though you changed it, JB. But I'm still going to stick with Cincinnati because the way the offense is playing, they got to prove to me in Cleveland they can get something mustered.
Yeah, the next game, man, is an intriguing one. The Texans travel up to Lambeau, right? And I know this one, the Texans +3. Man, this is a pick'em game for me, Jeff. I don't know where to go with this one. The Packers are riding high. The Texans are just figuring out ways to win. They're 5-1. +3 for the Texans. I don't know, Jeff. Where you at with this?
Let me get out of Jeff's way on this. I've been here all week. Too many defensive injuries for the Texans. They're 5-1, but they still haven't played their best game yet. They're facing a Josh Jacobs who is a thumper and a closer and a hammer. Jordan Love's a good player. They got receivers back. I just think it's going to be tough for the Texans to generate what they want. Now they're going to have to pressure Love, but he's a 2-dimensional guy with his feet. I'm taking the Packers. This is a 28-24 type game to me. I got Packers. Hard to pick against the Texans with Stroud, but a lot of similarities in this. Too many injuries on defense for the Texans. Give me Green Bay especially at home.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. I mean, the Houston defense, that really concerns me. A lot of guys out, as he talked about. They did get Joe Mixon back last week. You look at the 2 games Joe Mixon has played for this team. This offense has been unbelievable. Even without Nico Collins, they have plenty of weapons. Won't have Tunsil. That said, at times he's really good. At times, we all know with the penalties, he can be problematic. I like the over. 48 seemed too low to me. I put it more towards 51. So 48 is way too low. I think
the week, Jeff, it said gusting to 25 miles an hour, possible rain. I don't know if that's changed this morning. Yep. I was out on the field training quarterbacks this morning, so I didn't look. And we know that wind's the worst on a passing offense, not the rain.
I'm seeing 69 and sunny.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, it says perfect. Maybe a little wind, perfect weather then for quarterback play. So
I think Nico has a big game.
Jeff.
I think Nico has a big game. I mean, not Nico. I'm sorry. I think Tank Dell has his breakout game this week, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think Green Bay gets it done.
Jeff, you like the over in this? You said, but
yeah, I do. But 2 really good offenses. Houston actually is the #1 team in the NFL in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. When they get into the red zone, they are putting the ball in the end zone. I think it's more touchdowns, not field goals. 28-24. I like the over.
Got you. Let's head into this Dolphins-Colts game. What a fucking game this looks like it's going to be. This is just IR5 is going to start today.
Why?
That's my point, man.
Why?
I don't get it. I don't know. He's young, coach. Hey, coach, he's young. You got to play him. It's fucking unbelievable.
Best
I don't know why.
Guy, you talk about guy gives his best chance to win, just like he did in Cleveland. Is Flacco right now? I mean, just is. Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt you, JB. The frustration with some of this decision making baffles me.
Yeah, it's like you got to keep up with the Joneses and do what the fucking ESPNs of the world tells you to do, and fucking Mina Kimes and them. Like, it's unbelievable, man. The guy just won you a couple games, or he put you in a position to win one. He's won you another one, came back in the game and won you one. I don't know what. I don't get it. To me, you're asking for a recipe for disaster. Saying that,
what's the number in this game? Oh, the
+3. Dolphins +3.
And what's the overall number, Jeff? What do we got here?
44.
Yeah, this is another head scratcher. I think for whatever reason, these coaches just overthink things. We just talked about it with Deshaun Watson. He hasn't been good. You probably want to go to someone else. Anthony Richardson at no point has been good. He just throws the football up. You might want to go to someone else. They had success. Now they're going back to him. Throw in the fact, I've said all year, I'm not a big Colt defense fan either. Miami off a bye. I think if anything, Tyler Huntley gets a little bit more comfortable. You do have plenty of weapons. You got to make the game plan a little easier for him. I look at this. I don't think the Colts should be a favorite to anybody right now. I'll gladly take 3 with the Dolphins. Look, are they a good team? No. But I don't think the Colts are either. I think putting Richardson in there just makes that clear. I like the Dolphins. Give me the 3 with them here.
I'm with you 100%. Dolphins +3, and I think I actually could take them on the money line. I think they win outright in this game. Huntley was proven as a very solid backup. He did some good things, but I just think they're going to be running around all over the place. If he can just get the ball out on time with some accuracy, let him work in space. I just think you're guaranteeing a couple turnovers from the Colts in the passing game. Give me Miami. I'm with you 100%.
No doubt. Let's move on to this next one. I'm with you guys. I'm with Miami, even though I don't like either quarterback. I could see the Colts winning this game, though, because they end up, being a little more physical than the Dolphins, and that's the only reason that has me kind of in lieu.
I also just point this out and take this for what it is. In all the games the Dolphins have played this year, not one game has gone over 44 points. 44 seems a little high. You have 2 teams with poor quarterback play here. I don't think you're going to see a lot of big plays. Again, even with Tua, they just haven't been a high-scoring game as far as the Dolphins. I like the under 44 as well.
Yeah. This one right here is a possible game of the week, game of the day. There's actually some good games, an interesting one. That's why I'm glad you guys are all in here. Pound that like, subscribe, let a friend know. This is the realest show on Sundays, pregame NFL talk. There is. BetUS is sponsoring this part right now. Make sure you head on over there and check us out. Use our promo code Coach JB. Lions Vikings, Jeff, Sean.
One of the games of the week. This is a big one. I like this game.
It's a big one, man. Undefeated versus 4-1. Sam Darnold looks like he's an MVP conversationalist. The Lions also have one in Jared Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl and been at the fringe of another. Sam Darnold looks like this Vikings team, an underrated defense for the Vikings is what a lot of people don't talk about, and what Coach Flores has done there in Minnesota. This seems like, I don't know, Jeff. I want to get your take on this. It's Lions +1, and over is 50.5. I don't know. I get both offenses are explosive, but I also think both defenses are playing better than people think.
What is the update on Aaron Jones today, guys?
I got to see. Do we have the injuries, Bailey, from Dr. Morris or no?
On in Minnesota every week, and he was questionable as of Thursday.
Yeah.
So then that matters in this game to me. For Sam Darnold, it matters big time.
They got Cam Akers because he's familiar with the offense. They got it in a trade. They got him from
Houston. They run the same system. Verbiage will be the same, no doubt.
Yeah, and he was there last year, right? He was there with them last year anyway. Right. So it was a borrow deal, and he's right back in. So in case Aaron Jones isn't healthy, they got a guy familiar. They can plug and play right into the system and play today. Cam's kind of been an iffy guy, right? Super talented guy coming out of college.
And his story is fantastic. What he's been through to get back into this is, but it's still not Aaron Jones. There's a different burst that's missing.
Aaron's playing from what I'm hearing. Okay. So that's big right there. Where you at, Jeff? 50.5. Both teams are pretty damn explosive, but they also play good D. I don't know. This is an interesting pick here.
Yeah, this is a great game. Look, I've kind of talked about this all year. It just seems like in the market, as far as betting markets, no one is giving the Minnesota Vikings credit, right? Because generally when you're at home, you get 3 points. You're not giving the Vikings any credit. Throw in the fact that they're off a bye. They've answered every question that they've needed to answer. What does the loss of Aiden Hutchinson do to a defensive line that had been eating and playing very well? I am betting into Jared Goff and Dan Campbell, who have been, quite frankly, two of the best together. As far as win-loss, they have been ideal. Also, I want to throw this out. If you like the Detroit Lions, Clay Martin is the head official in this game today. In his career, road underdogs, which is what the Lions are 40-17. That's 70%. So you got a lot of things working for you if you like the Lions. That said, the Vikings have answered every call. They have beaten a really good schedule. Their defense has been great. I love Darnold. He's played well. Justin Jefferson. Give me the Vikings. I think they win this football game. I'm not laying the 1.5. I'll play the money line here. This will be a great game on the back end later in the season too. Give me the Vikings. Money line.
Now that Aaron Jones is playing, I'm going to go with the same thing. I like the Vikings. I think they've been nothing short of efficient. It all comes down to, in my opinion, for them, how the length of Aaron Jones is make sure he's healthy throughout the game. And where Sam, if something happens, if they get down, he doesn't try to force the issue. He's playing great football when he's not forcing the issue, when he just uses that great arm skill. I had Detroit in the Super Bowl during the preseason. I did. I think I love the coach. I love the way they're playing. They've gotten better defensively. But I think the Vikings do enough. I'm with you, Jeff. The points is not what I'd go money line Vikings in a close one.
Let me ask you, okay, Sean, if let's say this game was in Omaha, Nebraska today, neutral field, okay? Mm-hmm. There is no bookmaker on the planet that is not putting this game as a pick 'em. You have to give the Minnesota Vikings, you got to lay 3.
You got to give them their flowers, dude. I don't know why we're not.
This line should be 3.
For it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're getting real value with the line.
Their defense is flying around too, man, and they're protecting the quarterback. I feel pretty not safe, but I like the Vikings. If it was in Detroit, I would have flipped the pick. I think that it does make that big a difference in this one. And Aaron Jones is big for me, man. I know what Mixon's done here, and Aaron Jones adds that same punch to them. If he's close to full health or 85%, I like Minnesota at home. I think they're real, and I think we got a chance at 3 teams from that division making the playoffs. I do. I really do.
I'm just worried that this is the game. And you know what I mean, Sean, because we all have those weeks. They haven't lost yet. They have no understanding what it feels like yet. They're undefeated. This seems like that's the week they lose.
I hope that Sam has in his mind that I know what that feels like because I've been on a couple horseshit teams and when it was in Carolina and the Jets.
But here's what
the focus and the fact that it's Detroit gets your focus right back into it because they are a Super Bowl team. You should not show up having any pregame speech. You don't need a pregame speech for this one. If you do, then you should get your ass kicked.
Also, keep in mind, the old Minnesota teams of the last couple of years would have lost against the Jets. Darnold didn't play well. They only had 82 rushing yards, 3.8 yards play. These groups previously would have lost that game in London. They didn't, though. They found a way to win the football game.
Three critical turnovers by the Jets, too, that the Vikings created. It was awesome.
They did what they had to do to win the football game, yes.
Got you. Yeah. Man, I'm going to roll. I like Sam Darnold. You know that. I agree with you guys. You're going to talk me into it. I'm going to roll with the Minnesota Vikings today to cover. I think they win by field goal. Let's dive into this next one, man. This is another interesting one. Eagles-Giants. Saquon Barkley goes back to where his former team. I'm also making a DFS pick here on this one. I'm staying away from Saquon Barkley. I think this Giants defense is for real. And if anybody wants to take a money bet, Saquon Barkley under 80 yards rushing. I'm telling you right now, they're going to stop him. They're going to listen. I believe the Giants defense is serious. And I think that Neighbors is back today, finally off concussion. He's been struggling with, doesn't even remember it. So hopefully he's all right and can play the rest of the year. But I'm just telling you, I think that Giants D is real. And I think the Eagles offense struggles at times when Saquon's not breaking through the line of scrimmage and getting huge plays. I'm just telling you, Jalen Hurts is struggling at times. And Saquon is also the same guy he was in New York, helping Danny Dimes. He's also helping Jalen Hurts in Philly. I'm just telling you, that's how good the kid is. I'm taking the Giants to lock him down. I'll give you my pick at the end, but I want to get go right into it, Sean and Jeff.
Jeff, have at it, brother.
No, I'm going to let you go because if I can, I need a couple of minutes on this.
No, take him.
Hey, Sean, by the way.
On the fence on this one, Jeff. Go ahead. I'd like to hear what you say. Convince me. What?
Sean, I'll talk while Jeff's talking or looking. Sean, it's Eagles -3.
Yeah.
Over 42.
I'm ready. I meant to say I need a couple of minutes to discuss what because I got to
go. I want to hear what you had to say. I have an idea going into this morning before we came on where I want to go.
Yeah.
But talk me in or talk me out of where I'm thinking, even though you don't know where I'm thinking. So have at it. Take the time you need, brother.
Right. So I live in this era. Okay? I hear what's going on these radio stations. I think the Eagles
just stop it, please.
The Eagles are very much growing tired of Nick Sirianni. I think it's abundantly clear after his behavior last week. I think a lot of people had questions of was he having some sort of nervous breakdown last week. It was a bizarre behavior, really. That said, now you got to go on the road as a favorite yet again. The Philadelphia Eagles have failed to cover an 8 of 10 as a favorite. They cannot be bet. You can't bet this team laying points. You just can't do it right now. Throw in the fact that JB made a great point. This Giant group is playing very good defensively, man. 10th in the NFL in points allowed per game, points per play. They're very good. They've got a good defensive line. Jordan Mailata out for the Eagles on the offensive line. Dallas Goedert remains out. Jalen Hurts continues to make bizarre decisions. Look, I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't like anything they have on offense, but to get Malik Neighbors back, and one thing I want to throw out, all week, everyone and their mother has bet the Eagles. It's one of the most bet teams this week. 88% of the money, I believe. But this line has went from 3.5 to 3. That is a sheer indication that the Philadelphia Eagles, I think, are going to lose this football game. And I think tomorrow Nick Sirianni will be fired. I think the gig is up. You've got to get rid of this guy. I just don't think they respond under Nick Sirianni. They haven't. I don't know when it's going to.
6 coordinators in 2 years, right, Jeff? A year and a half.
Yeah,
and on both sides.
And you look at him. I think we're starting to ask ourselves. He's going to do something to make it worse. He's arguing with fans. He's bringing his kids to press con. Just weird behavior. I think it culminates today in a loss. I really do.
You know what? First off, quit using your kid as a shield after you screwed up and fucked up by
3 kids. He brought 3 of them up.
Yeah, then the one that we saw, the one where the kid's sitting next to him, right on his lap, as a shield, knowing that what you said was stupid. Secondly, I'm sure he's a good X's and O's guy. I've never been around him. I don't know, but I can tell you this. That Jeff, I know a lot of people give Philly fans. I get it, but everybody has bad fans and everybody has good fans. I love Philadelphia fans because of their passion and they love they don't like excuse makers even when you win or lose. And so they don't need a coach coming over the sidelines. And doesn't he realize that? Wouldn't you tell your players quit engaging with those guys? And yet as a head coach, you run over there like you're some Pop Warner Bush League bullshit. That's not who Philly is, and it's not who their team is. And it's sure as hell. Can you imagine Andy Reid or Saban or Belichick or one of these guys, Sean McVay, running over, even his young, youthful attitude, and start bantering with Philly fans?
Sean, there's literally no coach that would ever behave.
Oh, I know. It's so tacky and it's so Bush League. I don't believe he has. I know that I'm trusted. Jason Kelsey said people run through a wall for him. Maybe they would have when he first got there. I don't believe everybody on this team would run through a wall for him now. They're a bit more talented team than the Giants. The Giants are going to win the game today in the Meadowlands. But I can also tell you this, that Philly fans deserve better than that coach. I look at him and I think, what is there anybody with more rabbit ears as a coach in sports right now? Hears everything, reacts to it, goes over and gives me this shit. Get your ass on the side and start coaching a team that, quite frankly, isn't playing well enough for you to give me this, even though they won a game. So I love Philly fans, and I like
taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants to win the game straight up. Yes.
Yeah. I just can't, Coach. I'll tell you, I just don't think you can bet on this team. Throw in the fact that Neighbors coming back, Wan'Dale Robinson's played well, Slayton's played well. There's some good individual matchups. Quinyon Mitchell against Neighbors, that'll be interesting. But Coach, I got to ask you, you in your career have been a little crazy on the sideline, similar in a way to Nick Sirianni. What do you think of his behavior?
It's cringy though. It's not authentic. That's what I see.
You find it cringy. I agree.
People know, and if I do shit like that, they know who I am.
What does he do every day?
This shit right here is just awkward.
Like, what does he do every day?
He's fucking awkward, man. I'm just gonna tell you right now. When he came on and gave his first speech when he first got the job, I think Sean and I did a show a couple years back, 3-4 years ago. Now, what is this? Year 4 for him? I said, holy shit, is that really a fucking head football coach in the NFL? When he addressed the media for the first time. So listen, I want to do nothing more than to go with the Giants today. I don't know if I can there either because of just the history and the lore that the Eagles just own them. Even 2 years ago when the Giants had a good year and beat Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs, the Eagles beat them 3 times that year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just a team the Eagles own historically. Man.
But listen, they may win, but you can't bet them to win by margin. Like that's kind of what I'm saying here. Like, look at even last week. That was a prime spot for them to blow out the Cleveland Browns, and they played right down to the competition, and at the end of the day, it's a hard thing from a betting standpoint to do. Why does he look like Danny from American History X, Sirianni, though? What's up with the hair? He looks like Danny from American History X. He looks like a skinhead. We talked about that. What's up with that cut?
I don't know, man.
You can't all have hair like me, man.
I know. Me either.
Guys, the truth is, Philadelphia's got more skilled players on their team.
Sure.
I don't trust Sirianni's ability to get him to. That's the only reason why I'm taking the Giants. And you know what? I'm not betting the game, but I don't feel comfortable with the way Philly's playing. I don't feel comfortable with the leadership, the guy that's supposed to be a great leader, engaging with fans on the sideline.
Hey, Sean,
bad idea and stupid.
I saw a tweet last week from someone that covers the Eagles, and it was, what do you think Jeffrey Lurie thinks in his head when he sees Nick Sirianni do some of this shit on the sidelines?
Well, my thought would be lose one more game embarrassingly, and your ass is going to be collecting a paycheck.
But if he was winning games and like they were having a lot of success, it'd be like, well, we'll put up with it. Like we'll kind of nip it.
You give hall passes when you're winning. That's just the nature of life. But the truth is, even then, I'd probably call him and say, dude, I don't care if they're undefeated. And your crowd's booing you, and you go over there and give them this. I would just simply say, don't engage with that stuff. It doesn't do you any good. And then it starts to snowball and gets worse when you do that. You got to pretend like you tell your players all the time, don't pay attention to what the outside world says. It's all us. It's us against the world, right? Coaches preach that. And the own coach can't follow it. That tells me he cares more that he's involved in hearing everything everybody says instead of worrying about his team. And when my coach is like that, I'm in a shitty way if that's the case. What happens if they start to go sideways and they're down 17-0 in the second quarter? What's he going to do?
I'll tell you another thing, too. Dexter Lawrence is turning into quite a football player. Not that he already hasn't. I mean, he has played really well this season.
By the way, they've been doing this without Thibodeau.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, this defense is solid, man. I think it's a low scoring, it's similar to last week, 20-17, 19-17, something like that. I think it's a low scoring knockdown game. I think the Eagles probably struggle, and I think they can lose. I really do.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's dive into another one that's very interesting as far as the number goes. Raiders, Rams, old school LA, Battle of LA when I was growing up. This is +7. Raiders +7, over 43, under 43. Jeff, where are you at? I'm taking the Rams to. I'm taking the Raiders to cover today. The Rams just are too banged up. I don't know if Cooper Kupp's back today or not. Bailey, if you can find out. Even if he is, I wouldn't bet that he's full go. That doesn't instantly fix their offensive woes lately. The Rams are a hurt team. Unfortunate. I was excited to see this team play this year. I don't believe they can get from underneath all the injuries, similar to what the Niners are facing. They get a little healthier, though. The Rams just continue to be banged up front. You can't really run the football. They try at least with McVay and all the boot naked stuff they do, play action stuff they do. I love his offense. I don't know if Stafford has enough weapons right now. But I think they'll win the game, but I think the Raiders will cover 7, Jeff. I know that line just changed from 7.5 to 7 as we were talking here. I think the Raiders cover 7, man. Where are you at with this?
Yeah, I mean, there's some really bad teams in the NFL. I think you got to look that the Raiders are one of them. This team sucks.
Cooper Kupp's out.
I mean, the Raiders stink. And they're giving up 27 points a game. They just traded away their top player. That said, that could help them a little bit maybe. Maybe he was just kind of a guy that needed to be traded. But they don't have many weapons offensively. Zamir White has been in and out. They have no quarterback. That said, I don't want to lay 7 with the Rams with some of their injuries too. Two bad teams. Yeah. I'm not betting this game.
Raiders, for a game that really nobody cares much about, should be ugly. I'm going to take the Raiders. That just seems too much for a Rams team that's not very good right now. I'll take the Raiders on the road.
I'm with you on that. Let's go Panthers Commanders. This one's really interesting. It can make you some money. It can lose you some money. The spread is 10. The Commanders -10, over under 51, Jeff. Where are you at with this game? Commanders 4-2, coming off a tough loss against the Ravens. Played them well, lost by 7. Panthers just 1-5 team that just is a bad football team, probably the worst in football. Where are you at with this game? Would you even touch that spread? And would you even touch that over under?
No, actually, I'm actually going a little bit different way here. I'm going to play the first half in this game. I'm going to lay it with the Commanders in the first half. I think we see a bounce back. I think at the end of the day, for them not winning the game, I thought they answered the call. I mean, yet again, Daniels played very well. He continues to, go on the road, play it. I mean, he's doing it at every level now. He's going up against good teams. I don't know if we can characterize Baltimore as a good defense, but he didn't kind of fall off. He was able to move the football down the field. And, I think if they play that game again, maybe down the road towards the end of the season, maybe they win that game. Now you get a Panther team who's one of the worst in the NFL, a defense that's just lost without a paddle right now. I'm going to go towards the Commanders in the first half here. I got to get the number. I think they're up at halftime, 7 to 10 points. I think you set the tone early. You're back, on the road again, but going to Carolina is not even crazy. I don't want to lay 10. I'm not in the business of laying big numbers like that. And this could definitely come through the back door. I'll kind of put this one away at halftime and play the Commanders. I would say it's probably -5 in the first half. I'm going to go with that.
I'm telling you right there, the accuracy of the quarterback. I think Washington can win the division. I do. I love the way they're going about their business. I think that Daniels takes another step to show why he's the rookie of the year. I think they're going to. I think this is double digits. There's 3 games I'm looking at lock of the week. This is one of them. I think they're going to curb stomp Carolina and Washington. Give me Jaden Daniels, accurate, and they hung in there and battled their ass off last week. And 1 or 2 mistakes more, and Washington beats Baltimore. And Baltimore's playing as good a football as anybody in the AFC right now. The way they're starting to pick it up. Give me Washington. Jaden Daniels is no rookie quarterback. I don't think Carolina's very good. Washington, and they'll get a couple turnovers today that'll dictate that as well. Washington by double digits.
Washington 5th in yards per game in the NFL, top 5 in scoring offense. And you look at them in the first half, like a game against the Browns, set the tone. We're up 24-3 at halftime. Number in this game, 6.5. So I have to be up as a touchdown at the half. I think they set the tone early. Give me the Commanders. First half, -6.5.
Let's go to the games starting the afternoon slate. There's not many of them, so we'll get through it. And then I want to get your guys' one baseball pick because my Doyers are going to go to the World Series tonight and play the Yankees. But anyway, the Chiefs-Niners, Sean. This is an interesting one. This is always a good game. Actually, Andy Reid, when he goes into Frisco, dominates them. He put up 50 on them a couple years ago. The spread just changed. The line just changed as we were talking. The over-under is 47. The spread is Chiefs plus 2.5. The Niners favored here. What do you guys think, Jeff?
Yeah, so I played a better number. I played the 49ers money line here. Again, big revenge game from them. And look, I know I'm betting into Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. He's very good in this role. Andy Reid off a bye, very good in that role. I mean, just things I don't want to bet into. That said, I think when the rubber meets the road, those were way better Chief teams the last couple of years. There's just not a lot of weapons on this team anymore. I think the 49ers are probably the best team in the NFL. I think they can move the football against this defense. Kelsey just hasn't been that involved. No Pacheco, no Rashee Rice. I know it seems like a lot of the time they just get guys to step up, but this is a team in the Niners who has plenty of weapons on both sides of the ball. It's not going to be easy. It'll be a close game. I think it's a 27-24 type of win for the Niners. I think they'll get the job done. I think anything under a field goal, I'd play it. That said, I bet the money line. I had it 1.5. I played the money line.
I'm all Niners all the time on this one. Even though McCaffrey's not there, they still commit to running it and will make you defend it. I think Steve Spagnuolo is the best big game defensive coordinator in the league right now, and their defense, in truth, continues to carry them. While we love Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid is brilliant, at some point in time, since they're not dominant and they don't scare you on offense other than Mahomes and Andy Reid's ability to get people in space and manipulate and manufacture stuff, and Mahomes is Mahomes. But they're still not making me look at them and say, put it this way, there's 4 or 5 offenses that I think are better in the league than them. And I'm not even talking about statistically. Mahomes is a great equalizer, and so is Andy Reid. Kansas City's real. We know that. I think today, this matter of fact, I'm going to say it now, and I'll repeat it. This is a lock of the week. 49ers win this game outright, and I bet the money line as well. I think they're going to win the game. At some point in time, the lack of offense or explosiveness will get them, and you get with Kittle and Debo Samuel, and they're committed to it. And Kyle Shanahan has a lot to prove.
Yeah,
game against a big game coach. They need to treat it like a playoff atmosphere and get it done.
Throw in your at home here, and I just want to. I like to come on here because I know there's a lot of guys that are just starting to gamble. I'm going to give you a little advice. When you look at these cards, I look at them and what I see. So one thing the betting public is going to see in this game, big game, Super Bowl type of rematch type of thing. And they're going to look at things that Andy Reid's great off a bye. Patrick Mahomes is an underdog. He can't lose. You look at the betting numbers here. Whole world's on Kansas City, right? That said, what have we seen the line do here? It's up to 2. It's going the opposite way that it should be. What it's showing you is that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose this game, and they're likely going to lose it by a field goal or more. You have to look at those things when you're a gambler and say, what is going on? This is a $1 billion league. This is a multi-billion-dollar business. These glitzy casinos out in Las Vegas aren't built off giving these away, right? This is the NFL. This is where the big boys play. I agree with you 100%. The 49ers, I think, win. It, again, won't be easy, but I think they get the job done here.
And Jeff, with that, too, everybody talks about the stronghold they have over them and the Chiefs and 49ers and all that. But Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy's been involved in one of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Super Bowl, correct? Was Brock involved in one of those? And otherwise, Jimmy G was there. They're different with Brock Purdy. I think I think you see the 49ers' most complete game of the year today. And I feel very the only reason I'm taking them as a lock because it shocks you're picking somebody as a lock against the Chiefs. I feel that good about this. I think the 49ers play their best game, and I think that they're the difference offensively that wins a football game against a really good Kansas City defense. Give me the 49ers, close, but 49ers on the money line.
Also, I just want to say one thing. TC says, where do you see the Whirlers on Kansas City? The fucking odd services I pay for. I get the best lines in the business, my man. I don't sit here and just twiddle my fucking thumbs betting on public underdogs like you. Guys, They know this. I'm paying for these numbers. I'm getting I'm trying to educate you here.
No doubt. Jets Steelers, tonight's game. Could be a good one, could be a shitty one. It's one of those games, Sean. You know, is Aaron Rodgers back? Devontae's going to be plug and play. He's going to play right away. The Steelers got one of the best defenses in football. Jets -2, over under 39. The Jets haven't allowed more than 23 points all season long. They fired their defensive-minded head coach. They get Brick in there, another defensive guy. They scrub Nathaniel Hackett. They replace him with Todd Downing. The offense looked better as far as like first and second down. They weren't always on third down and long calls, so they were getting first downs on first down, which is huge. They were getting first downs on second down, Sean. I watched that game a little bit more than normal just because I wanted to see the change in offense. They at least added a little motion, Sean. They were a little more creative. They were a little more up pace. I liked what I saw, but they still, without that Hail Mary, Sean, they still really only fucking scored 10 points. So where are you at with this game? And right now it's -2 Jets, over under 39. It seems like it's a tough one because both teams are struggling on O and they're good on D. So this is going to be either a low-scoring game or somebody figures it out.
Well, I'm going to make it simple. We're waiting for the Jets to have a bust-out offensive game where a lot of people are in this. I'm not even talking Devontae Adams. I'm just talking about the overall where they look like we expected them to look.
Yeah.
And
do you do that against his defense?
I don't know. But the truth is I don't trust Russ Wilson to make any plays against the Jets defense either.
Yeah.
Get his first start trying to prove, and maybe they'll get a little momentum going back, but they're 4-2 with and then they still made a quarterback change. Russell Wilson proved to me that you can handle all this, all the talk. I'm going Jets. I think the Jets win the football game by more than a field goal. I think it's a 3 or 4 point game. I like the Jets in this, even though it's on the road, tough place. Love the Steelers defense, and Mike Tomlin always seems to have them ready to play. I don't trust the Steelers offense, and there's more weapons on the Jets. It's just about time they finally put one together and maybe getting some non-home cooking's good. Give me the Jets in a close one on the road.
Yeah, it seems like so many years in a row we say the same thing. We just don't trust the Steelers on offense. I wonder why. Or maybe it's the lackluster head coach they've had there for over a decade. That said, Jets get a new shiny receiver. Something tells me, though, that's going to be more of a problem than anything. There's only one football at the end of the day. Garrett Wilson starts getting upset. Aaron Rodgers isn't getting the right people the football. And this is a good Steeler defense. We know they have a great defensive line. I think Russell Wilson gives them a little bit more of an added bonus. I don't like Justin Fields. I didn't get there with this game. I'd like a 3 if I'm getting the Steelers at home. I kind of lean that way, to be honest. I just like their defense. I don't like their offense, though.
Yeah. Before we get to the Monday night games, real quick to end this show, Sean, you're a baseball guy. Jeff, you win all the time. Game 6, back home in L.A. The Dodgers Mets plus 130, over under 8.5. I got the Dodgers winning it. The Yankees won last night. The Dodgers win the deal tonight. Wrap it up. To me, it seems like this really hasn't even been a series. I know the Mets just finally exploded, and the Dodgers pitching has been like phenomenal. 49 out of 53 innings were shutouts. Like what they did against the Padres to end that, and what they did early against this Mets. The Mets have won 2 games. I get it, but it just seems like they are no match for this Dodger team with Ohtani and Betts. Where you at, Sean, with this game tonight as the Dodgers come back home to Chavez Ravine? Do they wrap it up? Yes or no? Help your boy out. I need them to wrap it up. Dodgers, Yankees, World Series. Ohtani, Judge, California boy, Judge, and your boy Stanton. Stanton's right here from LA. They played football, 2 football guys too.
Yeah, and he doesn't get cheated either when he's swinging that bat and hitting the ball. Both of these games have the winning team seems to put a hammer on the other team. A lot of runs scored.
Yeah.
And at big innings, when you start off, I think the series ends tonight. Give me the Dodgers at home, and TV networks and Major League Baseball's begging for this. Even though they'd love the Subway Series with the Mets Yankees, they want this more because it's a coast-to-coast thing. It's not a regional World Series. The Dodgers, I think overall the Dodgers are just a better team, even though I love the Mets story this year. Give me the Dodgers clinch it at home tonight, and we get Dodgers-Yankees World Series, and it's like whoa, we're going back to when Reggie went bingo, bango, bongo, 3 swings, 3 home runs in one game. And it really is. You may hate the teams regardless. This is the series Major League Baseball wants. And in truth, the Yankees took care of their business. The Dodgers are the better team, I would imagine. And usually over a 7-game series, the better team wins. As much respect as I have for the Mets season, Dodgers will win this. Give me the Dodgers in the victory and go into the World Series.
Yeah. So Manea, the guy going for the Mets,
fantastic too.
He really has after the All-Star game, and you're getting a bullpen game from the Dodgers tonight. That said, great offense. They're at home here. Something tells me this series goes to 7, and the Dodgers win it in 7. The Mets have been just kind of a group that have found a way to win games. They don't have a great lineup, but they're finding ways to get timely hits, big hits. I have the Yankees to win the World Series 10-1. Bet it before the season started. Very happy with where they are. 4 more games. We're going to cash. I think they will ultimately win the World Series. That said, I think the Dodgers have to wait a night. Something tells me the Mets win tonight, then lose tomorrow.
For drama purposes, I want it to go 7, just so I can see how Dave Roberts manages in a game 7, which is not a COVID year, and how they manage the pitching staff. And, you know, we watched A.J. Hinch handle those bullpen days where it's just a bullpen game and they kick ass. Those can be really good for you because you can't dial in by your third at bat because you're facing a different guy every time you come to the plate, or they can backfire on you. The key is the quick start on the mound, or you don't let him get to your first bullpen guy the first 2 or 3 innings, and then you start to settle in. But you got to stay away from the big inning, and there's been a lot of runs scored in this series. Jeff, I would love to see it that way. I just think the Dodgers probably take care of the business, although pitching advantage tonight goes to the Mets.
Sure.
Yeah. I think the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. I said that all year long. They had the best record, and they beat the shit out of the Yankees when they played. Even though that doesn't matter, I still think the Yankees, I don't think they
The Dodgers are more so when it gets down to it. The Yankees are a lot of swing and miss, but they've got such power and Soto. And when they're seeing the ball like a grapefruit, look out. And the Dodgers are a bit more selective at the plate. The Dodgers get it done tonight. But I'll tell you what, if it's close late, don't count the Mets out and winning this one and pushing it to 7. Love their story this year.
No doubt. Jeff, let's dive into Monday night's games. Is this another 2-game deal?
Yeah.
God, Jesus Christ. I'm so tired of this fucking Monday night games. Anyway, let's go. Ravens, Bucks. Hopefully it's a good game. Bucks are playing all right. Baltimore -3.5. Over-under is 50.5. Where are you at with this Ravens-Bucks game to start? And then 30 minutes later, we have another game starting. So where are you at with the Ravens-Bucks?
Yeah, the Bucks, man, are surprising. I mean, could they be a team that we have to start talking about in the NFC? Really impressive stuff so far. Baker Mayfield was slinging it around. That's a bad Baltimore defense. Tampa's going to get really tested with a ground game. I'm going to probably go back to the well with an over. Baltimore Ravens overs have been money this season, and the Bucks have been an unstoppable offense. Just dropped 51 on the Saints. They've had regular big performances. You look at the last 2 games for the Bucks. They scored 81 points in 2 games. This should be a fun back and forth over type game. 1st to 30 wins, in my opinion. I love Baltimore overs.
Yeah, I love in the way. I mean, they've got such bandwidth now with the way Henry's running it. They're playing really good football. A lot of big plays in this game will happen. I'll take the over as well. I like it. If I was pressed to have to pick a winner, I would take Baltimore and think they win by 4 or more. But I'd take Baltimore anyway. But I think the over is a safer pick for my money.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Ooh, going to be interesting. I got to see, can the Ravens continue to blend this offense before the book is out and people start to load the box and start to stop Derrick Henry, who is the true MVP on that team, no doubt about it. Man, I like the Bucks tomorrow, though. I like the Bucks tomorrow. 82-degree weather in their wheelhouse, muggy evening, what they're used to. The Ravens are already getting accustomed to that northeastern cold front. That is going to get down into the 60s for the Eagle game today. I like the Ravens tomorrow. I like the Bucks tomorrow to handle business. Chargers, Cardinals.
On the money line, you like the Bucks to win straight up?
Yeah.
Win the game? Good.
Yeah, by a field goal. Chargers, Cardinals, Jeff, in Arizona. Another hot one. 44.5 is the total. The Chargers -1.5. It seems kind of low. The Chargers beat a good defensive Denver Bronco team last week. The Cardinals are struggling. Kyler Murray is literally a head case, in my opinion, and he'd rather play video games, man. I'm taking Chargers all day long. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, if you can figure out Arizona, I'd love to hear from you. I mean, they get blown out by the Commanders, then they beat the Niners, and then they get blown out against the Packers. I can't figure this team out. I think one thing I'm noticing is, Kyler Murray is still playing. I mean, I know coach doesn't like him, but he has played pretty well for the most part, but they're just a Jekyll and Hyde team. The Chargers, for whatever reason, we can almost trust this team now. They always generally have the better quarterback. I like their coach a lot. Harbaugh's been terrific so far. They've covered 3 of 4 this season, or 3-1-1 this year against the spread. I like them in this role. Arizona's just too topsy-turvy for me. I like the Chargers as well.
Yeah, the Dow Jones part of the Arizona Cardinals has me baffled, but it shouldn't, considering who the guys that take snaps on a regular basis, that they kind of take on the personality of what he's doing, up and down, up and down. The Chargers are just more solid across the board and steady. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers in a win on the road. And what's the number again? What are they favored by?
1.5.
1.5. Yeah, this is I'll be shocked if it's not even more than a field goal. I like the Chargers' steady consistency, not overly pretty, but they'll get it done, and the quarterback's better.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that one. Well, hey, another wrap up. Great Sunday. A lot going on. Mike Evans is a concern tomorrow night for the Bucs, though, as he may not go, Sean. But you know what? Chris Godwin's been the guy that's dominated over there. He's been killing it. Yeah. And,
they just hang around too. They're tough. They play some. Their defense has underachieved a little bit this year, but they're capable. So
what's everybody's favorite play?
Lock of the pick. Let's go get your favorite, your lock pick. Sean.
Well, my two lock picks, and you can. I don't care. I mean, my lock pick is the over in the Vikings Lions game, and is I got the 49ers. I think the 49ers are winning this game at home. I got them on outright winning this game at home.
Jeff, mine's the Falcons. The Falcons are going to cover that -3, in my opinion, against the Seahawks. That's my lock pick, and also the Titans. The Titans will cover 9.5 against the Bills, who I think will, struggle to figure it out with Amari Cooper and getting that addition by subtraction in there. I think the Titans cover 9.5.
And I got to take this back. I said the over. I don't want the over because I picked the Vikings in the game to win. I got the Atlanta-Seattle over is what was my other lock. Okay, that's what I meant, not the Vikings. I picked the Vikings to win the game. Yes, the lock of the over for that one, but I'm going to take – you can post my lock as the 49ers winning outright at home.
You're taking the Falcons, Seahawks, over.
I'm taking the over in that one, and I'm taking the 49ers with the win at home.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going to go 49ers. I think they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I played the money line there. I'm also going to go with the New York Giants +3. I just think the Eagles are in a really bad way. Coaching is coaching, and we see it time and time again. A poorly coached team, we see what they are. So I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I think they win the game.
Like it.
Yeah, I like it. Man, appreciate you guys. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go to the yacht and hang out. Sean, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. Tell Sean King hello, man. Appreciate it.
I will. Hey, Sean, thanks for coming to the boat again, though. And
I appreciate the invite, brother. I don't even know where your boat's docked. You got it in the LBC. It's probably wise. It is, isn't it? See, you finally came over to the right side of it. Get your ass out of there over the LBC. There you go.
I'm going to ride it down to San Diego and check out your neck of the woods.
That's all right. Don't worry about Jeff and I. We won't get invited until like the morning of, like we're supposed to get.
He's invited me. I'm just.
Hey, you can't get on a fucking PJ. You can't call fucking, Hey,
I can neither confirm nor deny my private connections, but hey, a little more warning would be great.
Listen, if somebody sent me a jet, I would come whenever you ask me. But right. I don't work. I'm a blue collar man, JB. I'm grinding away profit here. That's what I do.
I'm gonna work my ass off enough with some of this business stuff I got going on, JB. That I'm gonna have my own plane, so I'll see you out there. How's that? That's that.
Jeff and I are waiting. Jeff and I are waiting for that conversation. Let's get it going.
Yeah, fair enough.
Shout out to everybody, man. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Coach AB show. Head on over and watch Sean on the Sean Salisbury show on iHeartRadio every single morning as well, and plus Jeff on the Sit Down Crime Pod on TikTok and YouTube. Follow him as well. All of our social media handles are all in the ticker. We'll see you tomorrow and next week. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
The last chance cube. Let's go.
And I just cannot wait to bring over 60 years of knowledge and experience to not only the novice football fan, Sean, but to the veteran football coach as well.
You love it. You better live it, drink it, eat it, smoke it, and then every now and again wake up with